Hi friends, thanks for joining me. This is the first layout I've made with Go The Scenic Route, and I've used a couple cut files from Paige Evans. The first one I'm going to show you is the Apple cut file and how I use Silhouette Studio to make layers so that a whole bunch of fun stuff can be tucked on the inside. So when you open Paige's cut file, this is how you see it. And what I did was I shaped it just a little bit and put it in the corner of where I thought I'd be using it on my layout. I actually like to design my entire layout in Silhouette Studio, and I know that when everything's cut, it'll all fit. So I've used the copy command, Control C, Control V to copy and paste a second copy to work with. We're going to zoom in, and I cut the stem off the copy so that I could use it to make layers beneath the Apple cut file. I just used the Silhouette tool, the knife tool. It's the second one from the bottom on your left toolbar. And every time you release your mouse, it executes the cut with the knife. So you have to go grab it again, come back to your cut file, and make the cuts where you want to take away an item. So you see that happening there. We just delete the items we don't want. So let's zoom in and see how that came out. There's a couple little bumps and spots that I'd want to clean up. And again, I'm just going to use my tool, my knife tool, and cut a little closer to where I want the cut line to be. So drag the knife, release your mouse, and just delete the part you just cut off. So select the knife again, click, drag, and release, and erase the parts that you don't need. Last spot, click, drag, and release. So that's not looking too bad, but let's zoom in a little bit more and see if you want to do any further cleanup. And I'm going to use the point editing tool for this. If you've never used it before, it's the third tool from the top left. And when you open it, it places dots on your cut file. And what I'm doing is I'm clicking on the spot that I want to edit, and there are black boxes and white boxes that will appear on your cut file. And when you click and delete the white box, it will make your cut line a little bit smoother. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm pointing on the white box and hitting my delete key. So as you can see, that's come along a lot smoother. And let's just clean up the second spot here on the cut file. Click on the cut file, place your mouse, the arrow where you want to make the edit, and delete the little white box, and that'll leave you a smoother line. And you can see that it's really just a personal preference. When you cut these on your silhouette, you really don't see the very minute things, but just to show you how the point edit tool works, I did a little more cleanup than I usually might. So you can see we're left with the shape of the apple without the stem and the contrast shiny spot there in the upper right of the apple. And I'm just going to use the points on the image box to shape it the way I think I want to use it on my layout. And I lined up the dimple and the little wave at the top because that was the center of the apple. So I lined those up and just shaped my cut file so that it could lay beneath the original cut file. And when you paper back it, you'll have a nice spot to tuck in extra ephemera or even photos if you wish. And there you have it. You'll have 3 cut files to cut. I used white AC cardstock, and then I papered back them with Go The Scenic Route. And let me tell you, this is just the most gorgeous collection. I got a full kit on Thursday and had to get right to it. So when I design in Silhouette Studio, I like to make my cut files in approximately the place where I think I'll be laying them on my layout, and then you can see that everything will fit. So I've just moved everything off the page except for the apple. Let's assume you cut everything out of white AC cardstock, and now you want to make the interior pieces to paperback rather than use your pencil and eraser to trace and erase. This is how I like to do it. Everything's quite easy and quick. So I released the compound path so that I could grab just the interior pieces of the cut file. And I'm going to use the offset feature to offset it at 0.100 and erase the original cut file line and just keep the outside offset. So when you cut them at 0.100, you'll be left with a piece that fits exactly underneath your cut file. Super easy, very quick, saves a little time. I mean, if you had a very intricate cut file, that might take a little bit longer to trace every single part, but there was only 4 parts to this apple, and so that was really quick. And you would do the same thing with your other 2 layers, and you can even use this method to make the second part of my layout, which was the back to school cut file, coming up shortly here. So you can place your paper on your Silhouette mat and cut everything all at the same time, actually, if you want to. So I use the same technique to make the paperback parts of the back to school cut file, and that's how it turned out. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Some close-ups coming at you. Bye for now.